bros.
If it's sparks, then it's gotta be.
Respect, loyalty, and honor. Rules that we play by. Know the streets watching, so we move below radar. Harsh times help us learn to master the chaos. Separate the real from the fake, that's how I get high. No joke with my money, if you owe me, better pay guy.
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Microorganisms BioTalks. Can enjoy the song Respect, Loyalty, and Honor by my crew. Definitely show them calm. This one featuring Hemi as we talk about a very important topic to me personally. It's one of the very first topic I would speak about on BioTalk. Even before I coined the name BioTalk, it's one of my favorite topic, and that topic is probiotics. We're talking about probiotics, and hopefully we'll be able to recap some stuff and then be able to gain some more insight into what they are. So, probiotics are live microorganisms that are used in to improve the health of the gut, of the stomach, and they do this using a lot of mechanism, and they are actually being used to actually cushion the effects of some illness, of some diseases that are associated with the intestinal tract. So most of the time we have some particular incidents that happens within us that usually change the microorganism within the gut. Maybe before now, I should probably have informed you that we have a microorganism within our system that referred to as microbiota. We call them normal human microbiota, and a lot of them are found all over our system, and especially in the gut system. So the one in the gut system, sometimes issues happen. Okay, issues happen, and then we now have this organism misbehaving within our system. It might be due to antibiotic associated issues like diarrhea, or it might even just be an irritable bowel syndrome, something that is just irritating the bowel, as the name implies. So, and now this disorder, these illnesses, instead of going through the regular ways of using drugs to cure them, in quotes, we can actually use probiotics. And these probiotics is actually used, or these probiotics are used to suppress these unwanted symptoms, this irritation that are going on within the system. So you probably have one or two things being taken inside, and then eventually they're going to actually work as expected. So, like I said, probiotics are live microorganisms that are used for as a form of a non-pharmacological method to promote health gut, and they can be used to treat varieties of diseases. So, we have some organisms that have been notably used for this treatment over the years, and of course I can start mentioning the names, but they'll sound like Greek to you, but so for those who are used to scientific names, we have lactobacillus, and lactobacillus is one of the major organisms that are actually used in probiotics. And maybe before I go on to mention them, let me quickly mention the common probiotics that we have around us in form of food, or any food that undergoes any food that undergoes fermentation is usually probiotics in nature. And one of the things that will come to your mind immediately is what? Yogurt. We have yogurt, we have pap, ogi. What other fermented? Yes, beer. Which other fermented food do you think we have? Red wine. Well, I'm just mentioning most of these. You can't just decide to be taking fermented food because you said they contain probiotics anyway. So, but those are the common food, especially yogurt and ogi, which you refer to as pap. They contain good probiotics that most of the time. I don't know if any of you are aware that people usually take the water that is on top of raw ogi. They use it in preparing some form of medication when someone has typhoid. Yeah, it's one of the practices that our mothers they always do back then. So that's the effect of that's actually probiotics action in nature, and the mechanisms of action are actually they are not well understood, but they vary. And one of the things that we know that is that they carry out many anti-inflammatory effects. They prevent inflammation, and then they are able to regulate the immune system, and then maintain a kind of balance within the organism and the gut, the normal organism that stays within the gut and the gut itself. So they also help in regulating the central nervous system and decreasing, in a way, ameliorating pain. They help in reducing pain through the activation of some receptors within us. So, and of course, probiotics comes in many forms. Like I mentioned, I've already mentioned pap, I've already mentioned yogurt. So, I've already said they exist in form of fermented food, and in some developed countries, they've been made into capsules, they've been made into liquid and even powder, and you can easily access them in most grocery stores. Wherever it is that you can definitely get them. And one of the things that you should be careful about when purchasing probiotics is that you should actually read through the labels to check whether you're actually taking the right stuff. Of course, there are many adverse effects because these are live organisms. Don't forget, they're actually ingesting live organisms. So there's probably the possibility of fungemia, that's the presence of fungi in the blood system, bacteremia, presence of bacteria in the blood system, and endocarditis. So these are adverse effects that people can watch out for. And these other adverse effects are usually very common in people with issues within their gut, like short gut syndrome, and people who are immunocompromised, even the elderly patients. So people should be careful. Of course, just like every other normal drugs, you should be careful when taking probiotics. So of course, there is always an issue with this kind of medication in quotes and clinician opinion. Most clinicians don't actually fancy talking about stuff like stuff like this. So, but of course, most of your health providers will definitely, especially when you want to get some treatment, they can refer you to nutritionists and dietitians. So those people who are actually very familiar and aware of the usefulness of probiotics, so they'll be able to give you good instructions about how to go about it. So that will be all on probiotics this evening. Of course, as usual, I'll be attaching some articles with the talk, so that you'll be able to read more and gain more from them. So, as usual, I'll remind you to stay healthy, stay safe, and have a lovely evening. Good night.
There's no loyal guys, there's no loyal woman now. Out here shit is savage for the cabbage. Only trust yourself as an addict to help you
Respect,
manage.
loyalty, and honor.
Yeah.
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 Respect, loyalty, and honor.